This storm will kill you.
Look! I'm telling you! You know what I mean,
But if
folks?
rich people aren't looking out for us, who is?
It makes no difference which one of us you vote for. Either way, your planet is doomed.
You're listening to the Our Take Podcast with Bryan Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get, like, the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions, and I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
This is the Our Take Podcast.
From Scary Parrot Media Studios in Ogden, Utah, it's the Our Take Podcast, episode 97. I'm Bryan.
I am Spencer.
I can barely hear myself for some reason.
It should be better now.
Oh, okay.
We've been really slacking with these.
Well, we have reasons.
I think we had a COVID scare last week.
Yeah, my
or the
family
week
got
before.
sick.
No COVID though.
We got tested. No COVID.
Was that your first? You got tested? Was that your first?
No, Quinn got tested.
You got your daughter tested, but you wouldn't
I
go
wasn't
for it.
sick.
You got sick.
I know, but she already got tested. No, actually, I'll be honest. I signed up for the test, and then I went and drove over there.
And then you saw Quinn crying, and you were like, "I'm not doing that."
No, it was a spit test.
Oh,
I drove over to the place, and the line went out
really?
the parking lot and down the block. So I still got a little throat thing. So if I lose my voice halfway through the episode,
Great, a throat thing? You mean a little Rona
a
thing?
little Rona thing.
Oh man.
By the
Anyway,
way,
go ahead.
find us at the Arctic Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now TikTok.
Oh really?
I've been posting clips of our show to TikTok.
Oh,
So if you don't want to listen to the whole 3 hours, you can watch little 1-minute clips.
is TikTok still legal or?
For now, everybody should go download it now before the Trump administration takes it away from the App Store. So trying.
I thought there was a deal that got cut or something. I don't know.
Well, they were supposed to sell it or something, but anyway. Also, the arctakepodcast.com where you can watch these episodes, see these lovely blankets behind us. Also, this absolutely perfect mug. I mean, it's just perfect.
Yeah, that's a great logo.
Yeah.
Speaking of logos, make sure to visit Scary Parrot Media's Facebook page, and I'll have a website back up again soon because I am going to be unemployed soon.
Well, you'll be employed of your own.
Yeah, I just need I need those referrals.
Yeah. So not only has Spencer done the Arctic Podcast, he's done obviously Scary Parrot Media's logo. He's done Rejected Takeoff. He made one for me. I own a vending business now. So
Did you
OgdenVending.com.
did you realize what it was? I don't know if you.
Yeah. A cap.
Okay, good.
I made it spin on the website.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
So OgdenVending.com. That's if you want a vending machine. That's what I do now.
Ooh. I'll be opening my own business soon, so
You'll need
I'll need a vending machine.
Yeah, but that's just an example of Spencer's work. He's very good.
So we've got there's a lot.
Oh man, so much has happened.
There's a lot to talk about.
I haven't even seen you
since the COVID scare.
since our last episode.
See,
I don't think.
what was it? We watched the debate.
Oh, we did watch.
We watched the first presidential
Yes.
debate, and then
That was
a
last
few
time I
days
saw you.
later, we were about to record that day, and you were like, "Hey, Quinn's showing some symptoms. You
Yep.
were here Tuesday. We're all gonna die."
Right.
And then, yeah. Anyway, so everyone got sick.
And in true 2020 fashion, a lot has happened
Yeah,
since then, since the presidential debate.
yeah. I'll say
I mean, I can't even list.
no. It's
I mean,
no. So
Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, well,
you know.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Did you watch SNL? They did a little tribute to him.
Yeah, that's cool.
It wasn't a very funny episode. Anyway, there was a couple funny ones.
A couple funny ones.
Okay.
I like the saying things wrong. The COVID and like.
Oh yeah, it was pretty funny. And the
president.
Sam Adams pumpkin, that was funny.
Yeah.
Poor Bill Burr, he kind of bombed though in his monologue.
It's hard in front of that crowd.
I know. No, I mean, he's like, I've been waiting my whole life for this, and then he bombs, man. I mean, he's a good comedian. He's funny,
Right.
but man,
He knew how to move forward though. It was good.
Lucky. So, a few weeks ago we talked about the firstborn, and how the second born only happened because they got bored of the firstborn and so on.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of stories about how after parents have one kid, the fourth kid is like, whatever, just do whatever you want.
Right.
They don't care if they get sick, and it's just like, they don't care as much. Now, apparently, this translates to the animal kingdom as well.
Okay.
Now, I don't remember if we talked about this on the episodes or not, but now, as you know, my birds had one baby last year around this time, maybe a little earlier.
Right.
And this year, they've been in quarantine, so they've just been no. So they had a baby earlier in the year, and then they had 4. And then right after the 4 were done, they're like, you know what? Let's do another 4. So,
how many birds do you have now? Then?
right now there's 14 in my house.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yes. There would be 16 though. I did give 2 of them away. So
Okay.
that's good. But the amount of care that they were giving these new birds, I mean, they fed them, but you could just tell they were over it.
They're burnt.
Yeah, they're just like, why did we do this?
They're burnt out.
I mean, they didn't sit on them. Like, the first few, they sat with them in the nest for almost the whole time. This time, they kind of gave up, and they're just like, you guys huddle for warmth. You'll be fine. I had to put a heat lamp on top of them and everything because they're like, we don't want to do this anymore.
All we wanted to do was rub our cloaca.
Yeah.
And
They did it again the other day, so I don't know. I guess they're feeling frisky or optimistic.
Can you
again.
get a
I don't know.
bird fixed?
No. But what I can do, I need to go order them on Amazon, is get fake eggs. And you put fake eggs in the nest, and it kind of turns the female off. She thinks she's already laid them. Because,
Oh, interesting.
for all their intelligence, they're still pretty stupid.
So the male will be pissed.
No, I don't think. I think I don't think they'll know.
Okay.
They'll just be like, oh.
It's weird. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it happened.
And speaking of my birds, this happened a few days ago. I was, and you've been to my neighborhood. It's not like a wildlife refugee or anything. It's a normal
Right.
neighborhood, a lot
Normal
of crows.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting in the other room, and I hear my birds freak out in their room, and they're all flying around and squawking, and it sounds like something keeps hitting the window. And my birds don't normally hit the window anymore because they've done it once or twice, and
Right,
they figured
right.
out that that's a window. So I go in there to see what's going on, and outside there's, the old poles where they hung laundry.
Yeah.
There's one of those still out there. And I look at it, and there's a freaking hawk
Just chilling?
just chilling, watching my birds like they're the Food Network.
That's rad.
And I think the hawk had been hitting the window trying to get them. And there were 2 cats. They were having a watch party for my birds.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love hawks.
And then he saw me and he freaked out and left. But
Big hawk?
I don't remember. It happened so fast. In my mind, it was like a bald eagle.
Right.
But I'm actually thinking it wasn't a hawk. It was a kestrel. I just said hawk because that is easier for people to. Kestrel's like a really small hawk.
Right. Okay.
But
I
I'm
don't
not.
know.
I'm
but
not sure though. It happened so quick, and it was kind of almost dark, and so, I don't know. I don't know.
What are you going to do with all these birds?
I don't know. I don't freaking know.
I guess people can contact you if they want a bird.
I guess me and the birds will start a office together. We're gonna start a company called Scary Parrot Media. Speaking of Scary Parrot Media, I'm just joking. This has no segue at all. Have you driven to Salt Lake in the past month?
Yeah, I was just down there a little bit ago, like 2 days ago.
Did you see? I think it's already taken down, but the bridge coming off of 89 where people put welcome home
Oh, yeah.
elder or whatever.
Yeah.
So a few weeks ago I was driving under it, and I had to do a double take because it said welcome back Elder Shart.
Elder Shart.
Yes. Now I think that it was supposed to be at one point Elder Smart, and whether by the wind or foul play someone had rearranged the M into an H
Yeah.
to say welcome home Elder
That's
Shart.
brilliant.
I know.
I mean, the wind could have done it. You're right.
I kind of feel like it blew some of them out.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that. Well, I don't know. I don't
It's
care either
2020,
way.
You know.
I don't care either way.
The president got coronavirus.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Do you think he really got it?
Yeah. I mean, he's like coughing and stuff still.
That's true. But although they edited his cough out of one of
Oh, of course.
one of the videos. But there's a lot of people saying that he faked it.
If he faked it, I think that he's such a weird sociopath that he might have faked it. If he did fake it, was to get sympathy and to get people on his side. But
Right.
I don't think he realized the amount of people that would wish him death
Right.
publicly.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think he faked it. But I do think that he got an experimental medicine. I mean, they say that he did.
He did. Yeah.
And that it probably worked really well.
Yeah, the company came out today because the president said everyone's going to get it.
Yeah.
And the company said we only have 50,000 doses. So
And they're going for $50,000 a piece.
Right. So no, we're not all going to
We
get
know
it.
how generous Trump is with his tax records and
then
everything. But
Eric Trump, the genius he is, referred to it as a vaccine, which is great.
he is a genius. You know,
Yeah.
how must it be? I mean, because, you know, in cartoons and sketches and stuff, Donald Jr. kind of comes off that they typically make him as, you know, mostly intelligent, but in every sketch and everything, Eric is an idiot.
He's an idiot.
Our cartoon president, when he was on Family Guy, SNL.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything where. So I think that he might be. I don't know.
The sketches are true.
Yeah, I mean, right? There's got to be something true to that.
Yeah, I haven't heard about the condition of all the other people who got it.
They're dead.
Oh, okay.
They're all dead. Mike Lee's back in action.
Kayleigh McEnany, another
I
bunch
can't
of
believe
staffers
none
down
of them
there.
die. I mean,
It's weird. Well, we know what
it's
the
not
death
weird.
rate
It's not really
isn't
weird.
that high.
It's not yeah.
That's true. Nevertheless, I don't think he scored a lot of points with his "don't be afraid of it" talk.
No, not at all. He's. I think he's an idiot, man. I don't even think that he knows. He knows what. I don't know if he knows what his base is. Like he gave something that was for his base to gobble up. But if he intended it for everybody, I mean, he had to have known that people were going to be like,
We're almost at 250,000 people have died.
right. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
I just think he's not smart. I really think he's just dumb.
Yeah,
He's Eric.
Eric Sr.
Yeah.
That's true. I don't know. I honestly don't know. He's an enigma to me. I can't figure him
Isn't
out.
that a movie or something?
I don't know. I can't figure him out though. I don't know what he really wants. Like, I think that everybody would be kidding themselves if the Trump brand didn't increase in value over the last 4 years.
Oh yeah.
You know, so if we're going just like Occam's razor here, the simplicity of things, there's two.
Uh-huh.
One is he did it as revenge because Obama made fun of him,
Right.
or he did it to increase the value of his brand
Right.
because what we're learning now is that he's really not a good businessman. Well, all of us knew that,
Well, yeah,
but
we knew.
people who doubted it now know it.
Right.
If you don't understand why, the reason he only paid $750 in taxes was because he claimed so much loss.
Right.
So he's not good. So one of the two explanations there, you know, because the Trump brand definitely, when he's out of office, it's going to be.
I don't know though,
That's-
because it's not like it's gone up with people who have.
Well, maybe
a lot of
maybe
money.
He thought it would, though.
Oh, maybe.
You know.
I mean, I guarantee you, 80% of the millionaires out there, or even, people who would go stay in a Trump hotel probably won't now.
Yeah.
Just not because of the organization, just because
Yeah.
it's Trump's name, man. It feels weird.
I listened to a crazy podcast about his failures, about how, like, the Taj Mahal in Atlantic City failed. What casino fails? And
I
the
don't know.
the Trump resort, like, he filed for
Crooked one?
bankruptcy on all these things.
Yeah, I can't think of any businesses that's had. The only reason he has money, as far as I know, is because of The Apprentice, and it's not like he did anything with that.
I'd go even further and say, well, he inherited like something like $200 million from his dad.
Oh, well, there you go.
So he says he only got $1 million loan, which sure, maybe that was the case when your dad was alive, but when he died, you got
Oh, yeah.
$200 million there.
Yeah.
So he's a con, He
Oh, yeah.
he convinced us all that he was this crazy businessman, and then with a TV show
Right.
where they had cooking contests and
Yeah.
who could sell the most T-shirts.
Have you seen a lot of political signs in your neighborhood?
Yeah, actually,
What kinds?
Biden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in my neighborhood, I've probably seen 5 or 6 Biden signs and to 1 Trump.
Yeah.
And my thought process is less that more people are voting Biden and more that people are embarrassed to vote for Trump and they don't want to put his sign on their
Well,
yard.
that's showing in the polls because in Utah Trump is still ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So it's obvious that the majority of Utahns are still stuck on the Republican aspect,
Right.
even though he's not a Republican.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I guess I look at Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
And I think I expected him to come out against the Supreme Court nomination.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm,
because it's Trump. He doesn't like Trump. And Mitt tends to do quote unquote the right thing.
Well,
Like he
But-
spoke out at the impeachment.
but what was the right thing to do there?
Well, that's my point.
I mean, I don't fault Mitt because I think what the Republicans did in 2016 was wrong, and I don't necessarily agree that turnabout's fair. I think there's crooks, and it is what
Right.
it is, and so also I who knows if the roles were reversed, what
Well-
would have happened? I mean,
Yeah. My point is that even though Trump isn't really a Republican,
right.
he nominated a conservative judge.
Right.
And so Mitt, looking at the situation, if he had nominated another Kavanaugh,
Mm-hmm.
or someone crazy, maybe Mitt would have come out against it. But because it actually does serve the party in the long term, Mitt's like, okay.
I didn't watch much of the hearing today.
I called Mitt, by the way, and left
Yeah,
him a
I
voicemail.
saw that. But I did. They talked about Mike Lee's opening statement and how the Supreme Court isn't supposed to make laws and stuff. And my remark to that would be, then why
Right.
are you so
You've tried to
worried about having a
Right.
full conservative Supreme Court?
There's a lot of weirdness, I don't have, as far as I can see, I watched part of the hearing today, but it was actually just all of their opening statements,
Mm-hmm.
going back and forth about Democrats are saying Americans are going to lose their health care, dangers of Roe v. Wade, Republicans saying that Democrats are accusing her of being too Catholic, even though no Democrats said that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So with her particular, I don't really see an issue. I think she's qualified, but if you don't want them to legislate, then why are you pro the Trump administration going after the Affordable Care Act? Like the legislature's tried to repeal that like 70 times
Right.
in both houses and failed. So
Uh-huh.
now you're hoping that the Supreme Court will, which is legislating from the bench.
Right. It doesn't make any sense.
The legislature already said no.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. There's a lot of that crap. I've kind of I don't know. I've kind of tuned out.
yeah,
I
have too, honestly.
I have a lot of there's so much going on. I'm probably losing a job. It's I'm fat. There's coronavirus. And
So that was actually one of the Democrats' points,
what?
that you're fat.
Yeah, I know,
No,
right?
Their point was, with everything going on, we stopped everything in the Senate
Right.
except for this.
Uh-huh.
That seems weird.
Oh yeah.
We stopped everything because of coronavirus. With all this going on, and we're going to focus on the Supreme Court.
Like I've said, I believe I've said this on the record before. If Trump wins again, I would be fine with it if Mitch McConnell was unseated.
Yeah,
Because I seriously think he is the root of all evil in
Yeah,
Washington.
I do too.
I think he is a bad, ugly man.
Yeah,
And-
inside and out.
And the fact that his face looks like Emperor Palpatine's, I mean, that's got to be something, right?
Yeah, Lindsay's pretty close to losing.
Good.
Lindsey Graham.
I feel like he will lose because the North Carolinians are going to be like, he's gay?
Exactly.
We don't want no queer in office.
And he's the chair of the Judiciary Committee.
Uh-huh.
So he had, the floor a lot today and got to. We played it on the last episode where he said, you can use my words against me.
Uh-huh.
If Trump or Cruz wins in the last year of their first term, a vacancy opens, I will not fill it. Right? Well,
Right.
he's doing that, and he makes up an excuse.
It's because Kavanaugh drinks beer and got
Right.
bullied.
There's
He
no.
got bullied.
He said there's nothing unconstitutional. Yeah, right. There's not. But, what you did in 2016 was unconstitutional.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, we talked about this last time. Anyway, we got 3 more days of hearings. I imagine it's going to get pretty heated when it gets to questioning rather than just opening statements. So,
Probably.
we'll see.
I don't know anything about her, and I don't know.
I know she's Catholic,
I am
but
interested.
so is Joe Biden, so is Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, but the Republicans play off of the Democrats are evil card
Right.
because you remember how the Republicans are supposed to be the open tent party?
Yeah.
They are unless you're black or white or gay or or
Anything.
yeah,
Right.
anything.
Any
but
minority.
white Christian, but
Right.
so because there's atheists that support the Democratic Party, all Democrats are evil, and they play to
Right.
that. So
Yeah. Not a single Democratic senator today brought up her religion. Every time her religion was brought up, it was brought up by a Republican.
yeah, I haven't heard any Democrats
Claiming
really
that-
say anything.
Yeah, claiming that Democrats were going to say something
we're
about their
going
religion.
to
Right.
Oh.
So every time it was brought up, it was by a Republican.
Well, Trump is going to be the next Hitler, but I mean, I don't know, man.
No one's saying that. Yeah.
I don't know. And this whole taking over Michigan thing has me stressed.
The kidnapping plot?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It has me stressed about what happens if Trump loses. I mean, are we going to see a bunch of that happening?
A slew of kidnappings. I don't know. Did you see the guys?
No, I assume they look like everybody else.
Couple of winners. Yeah.
I mean,
what was their club called? It was
I
called,
know,
like,
I know, I don't know, but when I worked at Smith's, there were a few people, regulars, that came in that were part of a militia, and they were not smart. They were definitely mentally ill, but foil hat kind of mentally ill. But
right. I can't. Man, their name was something like Wolverine Club or something like that. For those of you guys who don't know, these guys had a plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan and possibly kill her. They actually successfully detonated an IED while they were testing.
oh,
Because they were looking at her beach house. They were going to detonate an IED away from her house to pull police away and then kidnap her from her beach house or her vacation home. That was their plan. And they got caught on social media, of all places.
a whole bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
Speaking of social media, there's political ads.
Yeah.
You gotten those?
Actually, no, I haven't seen too many. But I've spent little time on Facebook.
Good.
Wolverine Watchmen, by the way. That's what they were called.
The ads have gotten incredibly targeted.
Yeah?
Now, as you may or may not know, since everything is terrible this year, I've been obsessed with Star Trek.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been playing Star Trek online. I'm pretty much addicted to it like crack now.
There's a Star Trek podcast.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And, but anyway, there are political ads on my Facebook page with characters from Star Trek, or not characters, but the actors,
Yeah.
asking me to vote for Biden.
Oh, okay.
So I get 7 of 9 on there, and she's like, listen,
The time is now.
you need to vote for, and Captain Janeway's, and they're all just on there asking me to vote for Biden.
Huh.
I know.
Well, little do they know they're wasting money on you.
That's true.
You know,
But
Like-
that is kind of stupid, right?
I mean, what we need to do is find all of the Republican ads and click on them.
Can I just tell Facebook, hey, listen,
Go click on all the Republican ads so that
they should give
it
you an
costs them money.
they should give you an opt out. Who are you voting for on Facebook?
Yeah.
You tell them you're voting for, and then they're like, okay, we won't send you
Yeah.
anymore.
I saw a girl on TikTok was like, "Hey, what if no, she did it like coyly, like it'd be super sad if all the Democrats went to Trump's website and ordered his yard signs and they had to spend a bunch of money to get them and it was like, it's pretty funny.
Maybe that's why there's no Trump signs in my neighborhood.
Everybody's ordering them up. I don't understand the Trump flag.
Okay. Wow, that was a great segue to what else I want to talk about.
All right.
Great. Although, let me backtrack one more quick with social media
Yeah.
and tell you that I the other day I was talking to a coworker or somebody, and I was like, I have been looking for new things to watch.
Yeah.
And a day or so later, I got an email from Disney Plus. An email, and it says, "We heard you wanted a suggestion."
Oh.
And I was like, Disney Plus, why don't you be a little more, don't come out and say it.
We heard you on your phone.
We heard you were looking for a suggestion.
That's pretty funny.
I know.
I mean, not like ha ha, but
Like,
what's
but-
happening?
Trump's flag. Okay, so this has actually been on our rundown for like 2 weeks, because last time when I was driving home from the debate, there's a house kind of on my way home that is on a hill, so you can see their yard, and they have a big fat flagpole, and on it, they don't have an American flag. They have a thin blue line American flag.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought there was a Trump flag underneath. So I turned around, and it was like a Buffalo Bill flag or some other red, white, blue
Okay.
nonsense.
Yeah.
So, but that got me thinking, wait a second. So you're telling me that it's okay to desecrate a flag, because that's what this is. If you look at the guidelines
You're not supposed to change
put
anything
forth
on it.
on the flag,
Right.
and these are actually laws. And at one point, it's been done away with. But at one point, and before the 70s or 80s, I think, you could be fined or jailed for doing this
Right.
to the flag.
Right. Before it went to the Supreme Court.
Right. And if you
Yeah.
don't know, the thin blue line flag is a flag that has been all the white parts. No, all the blue parts are black. Or all the red parts are black. It's mostly just black and white.
The whole flag is black and white except
And
for
then
one
there's
stripe.
one of the stripes is a blue one, and it's for support of police.
Right.
Now, so for some reason, and it's kind of been taken on by Trump supporters, and like I believe, don't quote me on this, but I think I read it when I was looking into this, that one of the cars that drove into, or the car that drove into those people and killed that girl,
Charlottesville?
yeah, had
I don't
one of these
think so,
flags.
but it wouldn't surprise me.
But they have been there. You can find pictures of them in conjunction with Confederate flags, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, they became they became a symbol of the right somehow. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's really weird,
Yeah.
especially now, especially this summer with Black Lives Matter,
Right.
because people assumed that Black Lives Matter was anti-police. It's not the case. I mean, you might not believe me, but it's just not the case. But
But anyway,
yeah,
my point being is it's okay to desecrate the flag and break all these actual laws in regards to desecrating the flag, but kneeling during the anthem is out of the question, which there are no laws regarding what you must do during the anthem.
right.
So
It's classic.
so
It's I saw the other day on the freeway, I was driving and I looked over, I saw this house with an American flag on one side of the door and the Confederate flag on the other side of the door. And I thought it just doesn't make any sense.
no.
Like
It doesn't.
if you didn't think it was about slavery, well, you definitely think it's about the Confederacy, right?
Yeah.
And if you're pro-Confederacy, then you're not pro-Union.
It's just weird because when I was in London, there were a lot of people driving around in big trucks with U.S. flags and British flags.
No, the Trump. By the way, I found a picture. Here you go.
Yeah, there is a picture online of a thin blue line. Sorry.
This is the Charlottesville car.
I don't know what the article is talking about then, but I know that it was.
It wouldn't surprise me though.
But I found a picture. There was apparently a bit of a confrontation with some people in Florida because they had a thin blue line flag flying, and then below it was a Trump flag, and they don't have an American flag, a real one, anywhere in sight. So,
I was talking with this about my mom about how we need to take the American flag back. Just if you show up to a rally with an American flag, what's the assumption?
Yeah, I know you get stereotyped, but
I don't like that.
Well,
I'm a patriot.
You know Radio from Hell, right?
Yeah.
So Gina Barberi, she's been doing that. She said the same thing like 3 or 4 years ago, and she has all behind her flags, and she wears a flag hat every day, and now she has a flag mask. So we're not the first persons to think of it, but you're right, and
I don't like it.
I don't either. It is kind of weird.
I don't like that one side of these protests just co-opted the American flag.
Well, maybe I can get a giant one and attach it to my car, like all
maybe it's just because the left doesn't really care about flags.
I guess
because you think about it, the right has the American flag now. They've got the thin blue line. They have the Confederate flag. They have the Trump flag.
So you're just saying
they have the
they're
"Don't
big,
Tread on Me" flag.
They're big into flags.
Some on the right have the Nazi flag, like in this picture of Charlottesville. Yeah, I think they're big into flags. I think they're big into public display.
Well, obviously, I haven't been able to figure out what vexology. That's what they are. They're all vexologists. That's a flag, the study of flags.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't. I don't remember seeing people with big Obama flags. I mean, there's people with bumper stickers. That's been around since
bumper stickers and
forever.
Pins, and yard
but
signs.
This whole. It's been very odd, I think. I saw that Ford Escort like a month ago with a giant Trump flag. In fact, I saw someone in another old beat-up car getting on the interstate, and they had like attached it to their trunk, so it was just kind of flying behind them.
So when they stopped, it would float down like.
No, it covered the whole.
Okay.
But it was just like it looked like it was gonna fly off and go on somebody's window and cause an accident. I don't know. I don't know what that's all about because it's kind of strange, right?
Whatever makes you happy, but it's bordering on worship.
I have subscribed that people who are big time Trump supporters are kind of they have a cult mentality,
kind of cultish. It's really weird. And if you own a Trump flag, I just would implore you to analyze that, figure out why you have a Trump flag, a flag of a person.
Yeah, it's weird.
A civilian, like, I don't know.
It's not a party flag. It might as well be, but
imagine like a Nixon flag. Or like a Reagan. Like you just didn't see it.
My dad voted for Nixon twice. He told me we had an argument a few weeks ago.
Nixon actually had some okay policies. He got caught cheating in the election.
Yeah, I have read
policies
that
weren't
Nixon
terrible.
wasn't that bad of a president, minus the
minus cheating in the election, right? But like we've talked about, if you think that you are right, if you think that you are the only thing that can save the country, then people do weird things.
And that is something else I've been thinking about lately. Is the people, the hardcore Trump supporters, and maybe even not hardcore Trump supporters, they are just as scared or nervous or whatever as you are and I am that Trump is going to lose.
Absolutely.
But my question is, what exactly are they afraid of? What are they worried is going to happen?
Socialism.
Okay. That it?
That's it.
Okay.
I mean, that's all I see. Even though
So
Joe is
so it's
really
gonna-
a Republican.
It's gonna. I know. That's what me and my dad were arguing about.
What else? What else could there be?
I mean, so if the Democrats win, then, well, first of all, it doesn't really matter who the president is. It's really the Senate and the House.
Right.
And the president can do executive orders, but I mean, they only work if no one challenges them.
Right.
And so that's why I'm more worried about McConnell and Graham and all those people getting out than I am Trump. But I just if you watch, there's some videos that I found, interviews and stuff of people who say that if Trump loses, they're going to move to Panama.
Right.
They're going to move to Panama.
Which is
they're
a
gonna,
weird
They're going to
choice.
take their guns. Apparently, well, when I a few months ago when I Googled, where should I move if if I need to flee America, Panama comes up. Apparently, it's really easy to live in Panama. It's to
Interesting.
get a visa there.
All right. They need people. They need bodies.
Yeah, I guess. So I just can't figure out what it is that terrifies them. I can kind of tell you what I'm nervous about because Trump seems to be unstable. He seems to do things like military strikes and provoking people and misinformation. And one thing that we talked about, me, you, and Ethan, after the first debate was his ability to discredit everyone else but himself. Because Biden would say, "Well, your FBI director said," and would no, that's wrong.
He'd say, "Yeah,
he's
well,
that's
then
all
I
right.
disagree with
Listen
him."
to me, you know."
Yeah.
And that I think that is dangerous. That's socialism with a brutal dictator. That's
Right.
that's
Well, that's
sketchy stuff.
Right. Right now we're in capitalism with a wannabe dictator, wannabe authoritarian.
Right.
So I think the main talking point is definitely socialism, and then over and over again I hear abortion.
Yeah, abortion's been coming up a lot lately.
The only thing I have to say to people about abortion is that in 2016, Trump had the Senate, the House, and the executive branch until the midterms, and they did nothing on abortion.
It's because they're all getting abortions.
So now I am legitimately worried about Judge Barrett and cases that are being brought to the Supreme Court. Now, a lot of the cases lately the Supreme Court has just refused to hear, and they've said no. Like the whatever lower court ruled, that's
Fine with us.
That's fine with us. But there's legitimate concern about Roe v. Wade.
Can I tell you though that I don't care? I don't care about Roe v. Wade, and that's just because me personally, you know how I feel about abortion. I think it's going to be looked down upon, the same way we look at slavery in 50 years or so.
But
or
you
who knows.
also have empathy.
No, I do. Well, I don't know. I do it. Now, as far as rape and stuff goes, then yeah, let's abort everybody. No, I'm just joking.
Right. Well, that's just it though.
If they take that kind of stuff away, then that's problematic.
They would, or they would make it very hard.
Right.
Like a lot of their goals in red states is to have only one clinic.
Right.
Imagine if there's only one clinic in Utah and a 15-year-old gets raped in a trailer park in St. George.
Yeah, that's definitely
How's she gonna make
that
it?
is problematic. And what bothers me the most about their stance on abortion is their stance on birth control and
Sex education.
Because it's been shown time and time again that cities who provide or states that provide birth control, sex education, there's the abortion numbers plummet because people don't have babies. They don't make that mistake. They use a condom or whatever it may be.
Yeah. If you look up a lot of stats, I'm trying to find them now, you can actually see that when a Democrat is in the White House or leading in Senate, abortions actually go down. So I know you don't have to believe me, but you can certainly go look for it yourself. Because they teach better sex ed.
Right.
There's a lot of people who don't know how sex works. And a lot of them are young people, obviously. So sex education is important. Free condoms. Free birth control.
Free hat.
Yeah. Like, it is kind of weird to me that some places have, like, free condoms available, but there's not free birth control.
Yeah.
You know?
It is weird. And you know why the Republicans don't do anything about abortion? Then they wouldn't have something to scare you with. They wouldn't have They wouldn't have that on their ticket anymore. And it has been their driving force for a long time. There are a lot of people who will not vote Democrat because of that. A lot. Like a lot.
So you're saying they purposely don't do anything when they're in power so that they can use it in the next election.
They've got to. What other explanation is there?
That's a good point.
What other explanation is there?
That's a good point.
As far as I've been able to tell, the Republican Party is all about scare tactics. It seems like every position they take is, well, they're going to take your guns. It's going to look like Venezuela. It's going to look like Iraq or whatever.
Right.
If the Democrats take over. And, you know, we had 8 years of Obama and nothing really changed. We had the Affordable Care Act that kind of f***ed up insurance for some people like me.
It also insured 25 million
yeah,
people
well,
who weren't insured before.
I mean, what? That's like the population of, I don't know.
10 Utahs?
One city. No. It's like a quarter of the population of Tokyo. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, I'm sick and tired of abortion being the topic. I wish we could find a way to just get around abortion somehow.
I'll tell
transplant that fetus.
The only way it's going to. I actually did feel like it went away for a little bit. I mean, gay marriage is coming up with Judge Barrett because she disagreed with Chief Justice Roberts on his ruling. The only way that it's going to be talked about less is if a case to reverse Roe v. Wade comes up with Judge Barrett on the bench and it's denied.
Right.
They'll be mad. They'll be mad at her, but they don't have anything else to go on now.
There's no way she goes. Her and Kavanaugh or I don't know.
I don't know, man. All of them, I'm sure we'll see it this week.
Mm-hmm.
Every single Supreme Court justice always promises to let precedent stand.
Right.
So it's up to.
But Kavanaugh hasn't really done that, has he?
I don't know. Nothing really big has. There hasn't been. I mean, there's been some big rulings, but nothing where you could throw Kavanaugh under the bus. You know. So
I throw a beer out there.
If Roe v. Wade is reversed, then we're not going to stop hearing about it.
Right.
The Democrats are going to be fighting to bring it back.
Right.
And in my opinion, I agree with you. I understand your point that maybe years from now, generations from now, abortion will be looked at as something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, until we have a better solution, we're still telling women what to do with their bodies.
Yeah, I mean, abortion's so tricky. You know, we are telling them what to do with their bodies, but there's also another body inside them that doesn't get a choice, and whether then it starts to get down to religion and when you believe they're conscious or know, but I mean.
That's where it gets to for us.
Well,
but for
you're right.
For
you're
the
right.
court, it should be about what's in the Constitution.
Right. I mean, you could go far back and be like, well, you aborted all those semen on that towel, and
every day.
I mean, what's the difference, right? I mean, I don't know. It gets tricky. That's why I think abortion's such a tricky issue to navigate because.
Well, it ends up being hyperbole.
Mm-hmm.
People take it that far.
Right.
Well, then it should be illegal to masturbate if you're a man.
Well, and
Right.
then I think a lot of Christians would be like, well, yeah.
It is.
I mean, they'd say that out loud, but not.
Yeah, it's true. Ultimately, I think we've talked about it. Ultimately, the question always comes down to at what point is it a life,
Right.
But the part where you really catch Republicans though
Uh-huh.
is their lack of caring for that child once it's born.
That's true.
They don't do anything. They want to get rid of welfare. They want to get rid of Medicaid. They don't like CHIP. They don't want to offer free preschool. You know what I mean?
Well,
So you don't.
Oklahoma did.
Oklahoma did. They're a red
And
state,
It's working out for them pretty well.
right? But no other red state is looking at them as an example.
Well, it's Oklahoma. I mean, that's like looking at your rapist Ned,
Right.
Uncle Ned as an example.
No, Oklahoma offers free pre-K to every citizen, and it's worked really, really well.
Yeah.
And they are the reddest state in the union. So,
Are they?
yeah,
Probably.
every county votes red in Oklahoma.
Well, yeah, it is a terrible place.
But that's the problem I
You know,
have.
that
You're not
should
willing
make
to
you
give any
wonder-
funding towards children once they're born.
whose side God is really on? Because he sends a lot of tornadoes there.
This is a punishment for free pre-K. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
I'm just saying that's when it will get less attention. The subject will get less attention if it's brought to the court after Barrett's confirmed and she votes
right.
no, and to keep Roe in
And then it's
place.
just kind of like, oh, we got all the justices.
Right.
What else do you want?
Right.
Do you think that they're going to expand the court?
Yes.
Because they are dodging that question like crazy. Let's go ahead and talk about the debates.
Sure.
All right, since we haven't done that. What can we say about the first debate that hasn't been said already? It was an embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
What my sister, who is not political at all, she's been trying to start following a little bit, and she would probably have voted for Trump if she had not watched that.
Really?
And then she watched that, and she came downstairs the next day, and she's like, "I didn't realize how fucking crazy he was."
Look at that. Would you look? Where would you have placed your sister before? Because I know where her husband
Well,
is.
we remember we did the
The socialist debate.
and that might have been the episode that we didn't get to finish. We didn't talk about the I side with stuff.
oh, right.
No, that was an episode that we messed up, and we didn't. We got
It's a
super.
throwaway.
We started doing it at like 11 o'clock at night,
Right.
and
It's a throwaway.
but we all took the I side with poll or quiz,
Test,
or
quiz,
test,
yeah.
whatever you want to call it. Me and Bryan took it, and we actually have almost the exact same numbers. And Democratic Party was not our top party.
No,
It was the Green Party,
Yeah.
which I know nothing about. I guess I should look into it. But apparently I
as
support it.
As soon as we get, well, during the primary we can care, but as soon as we get ranked choice,
Did you hear about Maine?
yes, they're doing ranked choice voting.
They out of nowhere that for the whole state
Yeah.
for the presidential race, like
Yeah.
ranked voting.
yeah,
Like what?
leave it.
Let's
to
do
Maine.
that, man.
Yeah.
What do we? Anyway, so yeah, we took it, and we knew where we stood. My brother-in-law took it, and he was like 98% Trump or something. And my sister took it, and she was Trump, then Libertarian, whatever. Joe
Jorgensen? Joe Jorgensen.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then Green Party, Joe Biden, and then I think Joe.
Okay.
But I've been talking to her a lot, and she's kind of on board with single payer health care. She thinks that's why you wouldn't be. I don't know at this point.
Right.
I guess we could ask Jacob. He's not really. Jake doesn't really get behind that, does he? Our friend Jake.
I don't know, actually.
I can't remember. It seems
Yeah.
like something he might be kind of iffy about. Because the reason my dad would be against it is he'll be like, well, who's going to pay for it? Like, well, we are.
It's the
So
same amount of money.
Yeah,
People,
I know.
the money you pay in premiums every month.
Yeah.
You'd be paying less.
Basically, at the end of our argument, he was like, well, then it's not free, then, is it? Like, no, you're right. You win.
Good
You win.
Lord. Okay. But here I'm excited because here we have a real life example of someone who thought they were Trump all the way, even according to a quiz. She watched the debate and was turned off.
Oh yeah, she kind of when he got corona, she was kind of like, oh, I think he might die.
That gives me chills. It makes me excited because I didn't think there was anyone whose mind would be changed.
Oh really? I think anyone that doesn't really follow politics and watch that would be turned off by,
you think they
by
would have
Trump. It was. I don't care what side of the aisle you were on. At some point, either out loud or in your head, you said, "Shut the hell up!
Yeah.
Shut up!"
Yeah, yeah. And my mom sent me. I don't know if it was a post she copied or what, or if she came up with it, but it was essentially, if you were to replace Trump with any other politician,
Right.
Mitt Romney, I don't know, Lindsey Graham,
Okay.
right? Any other politician with debating Joe Biden, it would have been a boring ass debate, just like the VP debate.
I'm sure.
If you were to replace Joe Biden with any other politician, it still would have been a shit show.
Yeah.
So you, by reason, right? You can deduce that Trump is the variable who fucked that show up. He's the one who made it look
even Fox,
so embarrassing.
Even Fox News afterwards, when we turned on Fox News, and they were kind of like, "Well,"
They looked a little.
what did that guy say? He's like, "Well, if you think that the winner would be who was most aggressive, then I guess Trump would be the winner."
Right.
But
They were trying every way to find what variable can we apply to make it look like he won. The one who, had the most, took over the conversation.
yeah,
Because that's what we need. Someone who doesn't listen,
yeah.
And then you contrast that with the VP debate.
I just don't think anybody won that debate except for maybe Chris Wallace.
I don't know. Man,
I-
Mark, a listener of the show,
Uh-huh.
he said that he thought Chris Wallace was biased.
I don't disagree. I think that Chris Wallace is not like Trump. I know he does not like his press secretary.
But what did he do during the debate?
There was a couple times when he prodded Trump to answer the question.
But if he's not answering the question,
No, I know. I can whether he is or not, I don't know. He works for Fox News, which is basically the propaganda wing of the White House right now.
I think Chris Wallace is probably the most unbiased.
But I would say
journalist.
Chris Wallace is very unbiased as far as his journalisting, his news, his
right.
But I could see how it would come off as a little biased in certain situations.
If you think that disagreeing with irrationality is bias, then sure.
Right. Yeah, no,
because
I
Trump
mean,
was being irrational the entire debate.
You know, the one thing that probably when Trump was not, Chris Wallace said something like, "Do you denounce the white supremacists?"
Right.
And Trump fiddled around, blah blah blah, and then Chris Wallace was like, "Well, do it."
right.
And
well,
so,
frankly, what is that though? That's a softball.
No, I know.
He lobbed him a
I know.
softball, and Trump totally flubbed it.
I don't think that Chris Wallace was super biased, but I can see how if you are on the right, you could see you could get that sense that there was some bias. But
so I want to go back to your sister though.
Oh yeah.
If she were to vote today, who would she vote for?
She's kind of when we talked the next day, and she was actually more disenfranchised with everything.
Sure.
With all politics.
Oh, man. That's a good point. If you weren't into it and you're like, well, I'll watch the first debate.
She basically, and she was texting my mom, she's like, I'm embarrassed to be from this country right now. Like, this is
just totally disenchanted.
This is not what I don't think she'll vote for Trump because, but she is, pretty strong. Abortion is a big one. I've talked to her about that, and it is what it is,
So just for the record, Joe and Kamala don't want to change anything about abortion.
Well, no,
They want to leave it
right.
the way it is now.
Well, yeah, and that's
I think a lot of people think they
want
to like loosen it up.
Like, let's abort everybody.
Right.
We got to stop the population.
Right.
I don't know where that narrative would have come from, but I'm sure it's something that people are trying to peddle. But there was, obviously in the I Side With quiz, she got mostly Trump. So, which doesn't necessarily mean that she would be a Trump supporter.
Right.
She just leans her values or her ideals are more conservative.
First of all, that test is hard because someone out there had to boil down Trump's bullshit into
Right.
actual policy
Right.
decisions. So when you're looking at it, you're picking and choosing and guessing where Trump actually lies on issues because
Right.
he really doesn't have a stance most of the time.
But I don't know who she's going to vote for. I would guess either third party or Biden. She did register to vote for the first time in her life.
Awesome.
She's 27, so she's missed 3 elections, 3 or 4 elections.
General, yeah.
2.
20, she's
18,
2, yeah,
yeah.
2. She's missed 2 general
They
elections.
weren't that great anyway. But yeah, so I mean, the debate did have that effect. I
Interesting.
think for some people.
I love it.
Now, the vice presidential debate, we had it. It was more civil.
Yes,
it
was a normal debate.
I listened to it for all of 10, maybe 15 minutes, and I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And here's why. Why the hell won't they answer the question? And what really I want to know is why does no moderator push them to answer the question? Why is it just they're complete BS and then thank you, Mr. Pence, thank you, Kamala Harris.
So to be fair, had you watched more, I think you would agree with me that Kamala actually did answer questions.
She did. Parts of I listened to, she did, but she also dodged a lot of questions and gave a lot of
She dodged one question,
of BS.
which we knew she would dodge.
Which one?
The Supreme Court.
She also dodged Joe Biden's health, age.
Sure, but how do you answer that?
Yes, no. Me
Like-
and Joe have talked about it. We haven't talked about it.
Yeah.
Not the American people. Now, Pence, for in Kamala's defense, I think she did fine. Pence was. If you bought that as sincere, I'm sorry that you lack the ability to perceive.
I don't know how any evangelical can take him seriously right now when he supports Trump.
Yeah,
Trump represents everything immoral.
I mean the amount of BS.
The 7 deadly sins.
That he'd come out with was, Mr. Pence, you are in charge of the Corona Task Force. Why are there 250,000 people dead, more than anywhere else in the world? Well, we think the American people are blah, 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 we can get through this. The American people, Donald Trump, American people. American people, Donald Trump, pull up our bootstrap, Donald Trump, American people.
Yeah. No, I first of all, 2 things. I think Pence dodged and came back to questions even after a new question was asked.
Yeah.
And as much as Kamala wanted to, she didn't. She would still listen and move on to the next question. Second, I think she held back big time. I think they had a conversation strategically, said, we're ahead in the polls. Don't do anything that's going to make you look too bitchy.
She still came off as bitchy,
She is
though, for
she
a lot
is
of
a
people.
California prosecutor.
Yeah.
She knows how to argue.
I would not want her to prosecute me.
She's quick-witted, and I think she pulled punches with Pence. I think she held back.
Probably.
I really do. For the sake of just don't take those
Welcome,
risks.
to the town hall mayoral debate between incumbent Adam West and challenger Lois Griffin. We will now open up the floor to questions from a community at large.
Yes, Mrs. Griffin. How do you feel about those computer websites that put a blue square on the home of a sex offender?
Well, the safety of our children is a very important part of my plan for Quahog. I have a 12-point program for the security.
I'm sorry, your time is up.
No, I'm not impressed. Not yet.
Mayor West, if re-elected, would you increase the frequency of garbage pickup?
Well, citizen, that's an excellent question, and I thank you for it. I think it's great we live in a town where you can ask questions. Because without questions, we just have answers.
That-
and
That's
an
Mike
answer
Pence.
without a question is a statement.
Is a spot-on Mike Pence.
I like him.
Spot
He looks me in the eye.
on.
I'd like to have a beer with him. I'm voting for him.
It was a normal debate.
I don't understand
Ah.
these people.
It-
he didn't
that
even
is
say
a-
anything, and they're eating it up.
Lois, undecided voters are the biggest idiots on the planet. Try giving short, simple answers.
Sir, your question, please.
Mrs. Griffin, what do you plan to do about crime in our city?
A lot.
Yeah.
Because that's what Jesus wants. 9/11 was bad.
I agree with that.
God, I can't believe how easy this is.
Mrs. Griffin, what are your plans for cleaning up our environment?
9/11.
No,
Anyway, that is exactly how the debate went.
Yeah, and I think it was a normal. That's what you'd expect in most debates.
Yeah. I don't understand why moderators don't just say, "All right, Mr. Pence, I'm going to give you another 2 minutes because that was total bullshit. Can you give us an answer? Why are there 250,000 people dead more than anywhere else in the country when you were the head of this this department?"
Right.
I mean, what would he do?
He would just talk about something else. He would talk about closing travel from China.
I would be okay if for 2 hours she just kept, you know what, Mr. Pence, that still isn't a very good answer.
Yeah.
It's been 2 hours. Can you actually answer the question?
Yeah, well, it's because it's up to us. You know what I mean? It's up to us to decide how dodgy they were. Did they actually answer any question on your mind, regardless of what the moderator asked, you
Mhm.
know? And then just how did they perform under pressure? That's really what you're looking at, right?
Yeah, I
Which
guess.
is why when you look at Trump, it's so disturbing
Yeah.
to think that this is the guy
Yeah.
who negotiates with our enemies. This is the guy who talks strategy with our allies. That's scary.
His dad issues came out so hard in that at one point, I don't remember what the topic was, but he said, "The American people are proud of me. They're proud of me."
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like he's been waiting his whole life for someone to say, "I'm proud of you, Donald."
Yeah.
Good job.
I don't understand I don't understand the bitchiness coming from the Trump campaign. First Pence complained about the plexiglass as if it was some big deal.
Right.
I don't understand that. Why are you bitching about that? And then the debate commission says we're going to do a virtual debate, and Trump complains about that.
It's because
That's just-
he found an out. That's what it is. I mean,
And I did say that the day I found out he got COVID. I said it's because he doesn't want to debate anymore.
I mean, that debate, it dropped his numbers. It did
Right.
not. It did no favors for him.
Yeah. But he
Um,
just comes across as what Bill Maher would say, a whiny little bitch all the time.
Mhm.
You know, the debate commission is saying, this is what we can do. Do you want to have a conversation? Oh, no.
No, I don't know how to work computers.
Yeah. I think he's afraid he's going to get muted. You know?
Well, God willing.
Which there was actually talk that they were going to do that in a live debate anyway.
Right.
That they were going to take measures to...
Well, they'd have to. He won't shut up.
Yeah.
He's got freaking ADD, and
I haven't heard. Isn't there a debate? Isn't it supposed to be this week?
Is there another one?
There's supposed to be two more.
One. I mean, the one got canceled for sure. They canceled it.
The one that
on the 15th.
Okay, so that was the one they were trying to do virtual.
Yeah, that one got full on canceled.
Okay. The latest second, officially canceled. Okay, there you go. Even though he's immune. Dude, that Herman Cain skit. Ooh.
Poor Herman Cain.
Yeah.
He died because of Trump basically killed him.
Yeah. Well, and he thought he was okay.
Yeah.
That's the interesting part, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyway, do you think there will be any more debates?
I think it's Biden's table now. If he will do an in-person one, then I think the next one will happen. I can't think of an excuse Trump could use except for getting corona again.
Yeah. Well, it's just hard to imagine what they would talk about, too, because they kind of went over everything.
I mean, minus the undecided voters out there, people that didn't know how unstable Trump was. If you knew who you're voting for, it didn't change your mind or anything. It probably just solidified your stance. I wasn't super impressed with Joe. I thought he did okay. At times, it felt like he was being bullied.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't know how I would want him to react to that. I mean, I guess he told him to shut up once, and he was visibly irritated, visibly shook, I would say almost.
Well, he got pretty heated at the end.
Yeah,
talking about his family.
Yeah, and I don't know. I guess I would have liked to seen how some of the other candidates would have fared against a Trump debate, because to me it painted Joe as kind of a weak candidate. That's what came through my mind is he's kind of a weak candidate.
See, I didn't get that at all.
Really?
Yeah, but
I mean,
who knows? We're all biased.
It's fine. I mean, like I said, he did fine. I didn't.
What the American people needed, though, and you missed it because you didn't watch.
Huh.
They needed the fly.
Yeah, I heard all about the fly.
That fly. The American people needed the fly. They needed something to laugh about, something to argue about that wasn't real. You know what I mean? The fly was pretty rich. I don't know how he didn't feel it.
What's the deal with SNL casting? It used to be that one of the cast would be the president or vice president.
Yeah.
But now they go out and they find super famous people to do it. Did it really need to be Jim Carrey?
No, but it pulls people in. It's ratings.
I guess.
And Alec has just done so well with.
Well, I know, but
Trump.
Jim Carrey's crazy.
Jim Carrey, I don't know enough about him lately. He seems like he's just, I don't know, found himself, whatever,
Did you watch his show? The Kidding, it's called?
Was that the one where he was like a Mr. Rogers?
Yeah.
I watched a few episodes of it.
It's really good.
I don't know why we didn't continue.
I can't wait for the next season.
All
Our
right.
cartoon president came back. It's pretty funny again.
Right on.
Anyway, I
Yeah.
guess we can take a break.
Yeah, let's do it.
The energy's kind of down today. Is it Friday?
No, dude, it's Monday.
Oh, no. Well, whatever.
I think I feel good.
Okay.
What do you got?
When we come back, we have a few random headlines, of course. We got crabs, sharks, and poop. We have a question that keeps Spencer up at night, but we're not going to spin for it because I just want to get into this one.
All right.
And I don't know. I haven't looked to see if maybe we can do a right wing or left wing. So all that, and that'll probably be it. Not more. We'll talk about vexology when we come back.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you these random headlines.
We're back. Glad to be here.
We have returned from break. You know, the break this time was like 20 seconds, and nothing really changed.
But they don't know that.
Can I just comment on your outfit today? I like it, but you kind of look like a crazy conspiracy theorist.
My outfit?
Yeah, the jacket there screams like, let me tell you something, man. When I was in Nam.
Well, maybe I've learned a thing or two since we saw each other last.
2-3 weeks? I don't know.
Yeah.
Large Chinese mitten crab. Now, have you ever heard of a Chinese mitten crab?
I have not.
Me either, but it's large.
How large?
You have a picture of it right there.
I don't have any scale, though.
10
inches.
10 inches. Oh, that's the same size as my Best friend's penis. So yeah, this lady in Berlin was just hanging out, and she got a shocker. She got a shock. Sorry, from the crab, because he's got just the right amount of. Anyway, while airing out her home, when a 25 centimeter, or in American 10 inches, Chinese mitten crab scurried in from the terrace through the open door. Freiburg police said Thursday that they received a call. This lady called the police, reporting an unwanted home invader in the nearby town of Unterlukengren.
What is that, like? Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you call the police?
Yeah.
You call the police.
The big freaking crab, man. Seen those crabs on the biggest deadliest catch? Before they arrived, police say the woman captured the crustacean by putting an upside-down garbage can on top of it. Officers were able to subdue the crab. No. They were able to put the crab into a container and then take it to... Oh, they took it to a vet.
Where did it come from? Is there a beach nearby?
The invasive species is native to Asia, is now found in many rivers in Germany, and the woman's residence was not far from the Rhine. Though the Chinese mitten crab has never been reported in the area before, they are not considered dangerous.
But it's invasive.
Yeah, that means if they took it to the vet, they probably euthanized it.
Probably.
And ate it for dinner.
Yeah, how do you euthanize a crustacean?
I don't know. Hammer?
Yeah.
You know, I like crab. I don't mind eating crab legs. But every time I see one, I'm like, that is disgusting.
That's a spider.
That is unedible. And it is. It's basically a spider.
Yeah.
They're pretty close to the same species, just like the sea scorpion, or better known as the lobster.
Right.
They're gross, man.
Yeah, they're sea spiders.
Like, who saw that and was like, you know what? I'm going to eat that.
I bet if we cooked it, broke the leg, and I bet you there's meat under there, pulled off like a tube.
Yeah. And really, the only crab worth eating is king crab.
Yeah.
Trying to eat snow crab, it's not worth the effort. It's a pain, man. You spend half an hour opening a leg for like a little sliver.
See, I'm not a big fan of crab.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's okay. I like lobster better, but they're both gross. No. Now you've heard of a sensation that came out, I believe, either last year or the year before.
Macarena?
Well, close. Equally annoying, if not more annoying.
Baby Shark.
We got, what is this? There we go. Now, this song is terrible, and there were a couple of baseball players that used it as their walk-up music.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But could you ever think that it would be used for torture?
Yes. It's got some psyops.
Two former Oklahoma jail employees and their supervisors face misdemeanor cruelty charges after investigators found they forced inmates to stand handcuffed for hours and listen to the children's song Baby Shark on repeat.
That's a misdemeanor?
That should be a felony.
That should be a felony.
That should be death penalty.
That should be a felony.
They were probably begging for the death penalty. At least 4 inmates were secured to a wall with their hands cuffed behind them while the song played on a loop at loud volume for hours.
That's terrible.
Well, maybe they. Have you ever considered that maybe they like the song?
Maybe.
Do you think that it's still playing in their heads?
They probably wake up to it.
That's pretty messed up, right?
Yeah, I think it's pretty messed up.
Do you think if Baby Shark would have been a thing when the Branch Davidians? Because, they did that. They played loud music.
Psyops. Yeah.
And then David Koresh was like, yeah, we can do that. And he started up his band and played just as loud.
Forgot about that.
And that's when Baby Shark was invented.
Yeah. It's written by David Koresh.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know this, but yeah, David Koresh.
The government just kept it under wraps
for
a while.
It messed a lot of people up, man. A lot of good FBI and DEA and IDA and FCR. I don't know all the departments that were involved in that.
All the initials.
NRA, probably. I don't
Probably.
know. Anyway, Baby Shark, terrible song, can be used for torture. Keep that in mind. As you have.
And keep in mind that cruelty charges are just a misdemeanor.
Yeah. Good to know.
It's good to know.
Actually, I believe if you do it against an animal, it is a felony. That is something
Cruelty to animals?
that Trump signed into law.
But
this
cruelty
year.
to prisoners.
Yeah, that's no big deal. People
whatever.
in general, Baby Shark.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think a titanium toilet might cost?
Well, you can get a titanium wedding ring for like $4.
Now, that's on eBay, okay?
Yeah.
We don't know if that's really titanium
So
or
a titanium
it's
toilet?
Titanium.
Right. $349.99.
Dollars?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is not just any regular titanium toilet, all right?
Are they regular?
Well, this one comes with a hose.
A hose?
That you hook to your penis or vagina.
What?
And it's designed, and this is the first new one in decades, but it's NASA's first new space body.
Gotcha.
In like 20 years. It's a titanium toilet, says better suited for women, and it's getting a not so dry run at the International Space Station.
Not so dry run. Awesome.
Before eventually flying to the moon. So before we send people to the moon, we need to send toilets.
Right. Got to have a toilet.
I don't believe they did that last time, though, so I guess there's just white chalky feces all over the
I think they just shat in their suits.
It's packed inside a cargo ship that should have blasted off late Thursday from Wallops Island, Virginia, but the launch was aborted. Much like they got to come up with a different word for that for space. Abortion, it's caused too much.
Yeah. That's true.
If the Republicans have their way, that rocket would have not been allowed to abort.
Yeah. Call it canceled or something.
Yeah. Anyway, it's barely 100 pounds, just 28 inches tall. The new toilet is roughly half as big as the two Russian-built ones.
Russians.
But anyway, yeah, $23 million.
Jeez.
Is it actually worth that much? I mean...
$23 million.
Yeah. Yeah. I
man.
have, a lot of people get down on NASA because of how much they spend, but I just want them to keep doing stuff.
I do too. However, $23 million.
That's a drop in the bucket
for a vacuum hooked to a toilet.
I mean, I guess if they were going to put that in every one of their buildings, like try it out in every stall. What is this?
Yeah. Oh, it said the old toilets cater more toward men.
Oh.
NASA tilted the seat and made it taller.
Oh, this picture doesn't look like it even has a seat. It looks
The
like
new
it just has a
shape
tube.
should help astronauts position themselves better for number 2.
That has got to be the worst thing, pooping in space.
Oh, it floats.
Wouldn't it be easier just to poop away from the toilet and then collect it?
Probably. Just go in a bag.
Just spinning around. I'll get that in a minute.
Just put it like...
Unless you have diarrhea, then you're in real trouble.
Put it like in a tiny little airlock hole. Just... Psst.
That's what they've been... those little holes they've been getting. That's what they've been filling up with is feces. Rock hard feces.
Put some shit in there.
Speaking of feces in NASA, did you watch that Columbia documentary?
Yeah. Challenger
Yeah, documentary. I keep those two confused. I didn't know Utah had such a big role to play.
Yeah. It's called ATK now.
It's not. Well, I read it's not the same company. I guess
Right.
the other company went out, and then somebody else. It's actually not ATK anymore.
Oh, really?
Northrop
Grumman.
Northrop Grumman bought them, I believe. But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, all about the O-ring.
That was sketchy, man. And the people here in Utah were like, we shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
We shouldn't.
And they told people.
And then NASA was like, "Are you sure about that?" And they got off the call. Give us a minute. Then they came back and were like, "Yeah, go for it." and killed everybody.
Yep.
And the people they interviewed, man, they seemed like it really, like they were genuinely upset, disturbed, life ruined because they didn't cancel that. They didn't abort that launch.
Wouldn't it mess you up? That would mess me up.
Well, I've never been responsible for blowing up a space shuttle and having 7 alive astronauts plummet to their death, but
that would mess me up.
Yeah, for sure. It was pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Pretty terrible. You know, I remember when Columbia exploded, that kind of felt 9/11-ish when that happened.
Yeah, it was bad.
It happened like right over my house too, in Texas.
That was just rough because people don't look at re-entry as dangerous.
It's all dangerous.
I know, but you know that's people look at it like, well, they're just coming back in. You know what I mean? It's not. There's no jet fuel, or not jet fuel. There's no rocket fuel.
Yeah.
You know, you're not sitting on.
I'm kind of
18 million pounds of solid rocket fuel.
Kind of bummed we don't have the space shuttle anymore. It was actually pretty cool.
I like the space shuttle. Yeah.
I mean, the rockets we have now are so boring.
Yeah.
Looking, you know.
I mean, it's cool that they can land themselves. That saves money.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I guess they did reuse the other ones though. They just didn't land themselves.
Right. They found them in the ocean.
Yeah, and fished them out, and
Yeah.
that's when they discovered the O-ring problem.
Yep.
Anyway, watch the documentary. Recommend documentaries to me. Don't listen to that phone. My phone's gonna hear that.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's gonna.
We
send me
heard
emo-
you were looking for a documentary.
Moving on. That was the end of random headlines.
Hey, guess what?
Yeah.
I didn't do this day in history.
What?
That's like, I mean, we're on episode
On
97.
this day, Columbus slaughtered and committed genocide of the Mayan people.
Literally on October 12th, 1492, Columbus stepped foot on the New World. Do you know where he landed originally?
Wasn't it like Haiti or something?
Bahamas.
That's
Thought he was in
close.
Japan. So the whole story is because we were told that he thought he landed in India.
Right.
He called them Indians. He thought he was on Japan. Landed at the Bahamas. I don't know. Something's not adding up here.
Well, have you ever? What did I watch?
So happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
Did you ever hear like how he became famous here?
No.
There's a book behind it. Hold on.
Chris Columbus?
Yeah. Dang it.
Claiming that he was the first one to set sight on the lands, he declared the lands as being owned by the Spanish Empire.
I think it was on YouTube. Oh, I think it was Adam Ruins Everything. Oh, yeah, it is. It's right here. This is 5 minutes. Do you want to listen to it?
No. Just summarize it for me.
I don't remember.
Columbus was an incompetent buffoon who never even set foot in America.
He did never come here, though.
Hush, hush. We all know Columbus wasn't perfect.
That's an understatement. The real story of Columbus is even worse and weirder than you think.
It's all right. We don't have to listen to it.
Well, I think everybody knows.
I don't think so. This is actually really interesting. And talks about how, he killed everybody. And then in the, 1800s or something, he got famous.
Oh, really? Wasn't until long after? Well, I know America's not. It's named after Amerigo.
The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Other Tall Tales
Turn that up.
wrote the first ink and died thinking he had made it to India.
Hashtag no regrets.
Holy crow. Then why do we learn about this guy in school?
Oh, great question. For centuries, Columbus was a historical footnote. But that changed in 1828 when Washington Irving, the author of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Other Tall Tales, wrote the first English-language biography of Columbus.
Columbus was a murderous failure? That ain't gonna sell copies. Let's say he was a brave genius who proved the earth was round and discovered America.
Seems believable.
And Irving's myth caught on big time when some new Americans were searching for a hero. Throughout the 19th century, a surge of Italians immigrated to America, where they were persecuted and treated like they didn't belong.
Duh! This is New York City! We hate pizza, and we'll always hate pizza.
To help prove Italians were a part of the American story, Italian Americans latched onto Irving's version of Columbus and promoted it like crazy.
Hey, we know a guy that knows
always
a
the
guy
Italians.
that discovered America, and he's Italian.
They did everything, ruined everything.
Yeah.
So anyway, So
There you
this
go.
book got publicized, and it basically turned into history.
Interesting.
And none of it's true. He never stepped foot up here. He didn't even come close.
Yeah, he's in the Bahamas.
And yeah, he seems kind of like a douche, and he killed a bunch of people.
I wonder if there are people on the Bahamas.
Yeah, probably. He probably killed them all.
Probably.
He's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of crazy, this is the thing that keeps Spencer up at night.
Oh yeah.
So the other night I was thinking, we hear the word evil thrown around a lot.
Evil.
Hitler was evil, his circle of evil, Democrats are evil.
Yeah.
But who gets to define what that is?
Winners.
Yeah?
Yeah. Winners write history.
So, and here's where my brain went. All right. I started thinking about some of the biblical stories out there. We have the story of Noah.
Yeah.
Which is, pretty outlandish, but, whatever. But God killed everybody.
Yeah.
Genocide in that story.
Right. Damn near extinction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
But that's how you define evil.
Well, so that's what I'm saying, though. What argument could you use in that situation to say that wasn't an evil thing to do?
That the world was evil, which is the argument that's made.
Right.
The world was more evil.
But if the world was evil, those people had no chance of changing. And if God knew that, then why did he even put them there to begin with?
Well, that's the
that's
the fun.
It gets pretty hairy, right?
That's the founding question to every religion.
So
why did God even put us here?
What is evil? I mean, some people think that socialized medicine is evil. What makes that evil?
Taxation is
evil.
The man is evil.
So who defines it? What is? Do you think the definition of evil?
I stand by my original.
The winners?
Yeah, the winners of history define who was evil.
So do you think if the Nazis would have won the war, we would have been the evil ones?
Absolutely. We were the evil ones to the Axis powers.
I guess so. Huh?
Right? Yeah. We're evil to the Taliban.
It's true.
But we're going to, cross your fingers, we win. It's not over yet. No one's ever won a war in Afghanistan, by the way.
Yeah, but
in centuries.
The war, whether or not the war has a signed, victory, we've won.
That's true.
I mean,
touche. Even if we left now, we'd still be the winners. We have all the money.
The number of people that have been killed there is
right
astonishing.
Right.
So,
well, I mean, we have it. Let's even more modern history. Not Afghanistan. Look at Vietnam.
Yeah, that we didn't win that one.
No, and people thought that communism was evil.
Right.
That's why we were there. It took less than a generation for us to figure out that was bullshit.
Right.
And they were just fine on their own,
Right.
But we still thought they were evil. And America just kind of like...
Yeah, they don't...
Let's not talk about that.
Vietnam is disgusting.
Yeah.
And so is Iraq, and even Afghanistan's pretty...
Right, it's pretty bad.
Pretty messy.
Yeah.
It just... I don't know. I don't know what to tell, people who serve there. That's awesome. It's great. I mean, it sucks that people they died for...
Right.
When was the last time the U.S. fought for freedom? Like, our freedom was on the line.
World War II, in my opinion.
I could see that.
Our freedom was at risk.
I mean, how big of a risk was it that Germany was going to cross the ocean and invade this massive country?
Depends on how it spiraled, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if they had the atomic bomb, if they had finished it before ours.
If they had actually... I mean, they were pretty close to taking out Britain.
Yeah.
Right? and then they had Japan on the other side. I mean, there was real fear.
No, I don't
that
disagree.
the Japanese were going to invade California,
and they got pretty close to Alaska too, if I remember correct. Or they did do some bombing in Alaska. Them or I think it was them
fighting for our where our actual freedom is at risk, not just.
No, I think I agree with you with World War II, but everything after that, you know.
Right. I mean, you could the fight against communism. You could certainly stretch.
Yeah.
And say, well, if it spreads, it could certainly take over here. That's a stretch.
Yeah.
So
But that's more of a yeah, you're right. Yeah. I don't know. War just sucks, you know, and I like the military. You know, I love the Air Force. I love to see the F-35s flying over my house.
Well, and don't be mistaken. I'm not saying that we weren't justified in invading Afghanistan to take out the Taliban.
That's fine. No. I'm just saying that the Taliban aren't going to row over here and
right. Our freedoms weren't necessarily at a direct risk.
Our safety, maybe.
Right.
But
they could have killed more people
Yes.
if we didn't do anything.
Yes.
Yeah. So you know.
But if we were never there to begin with, do you think they would have just left us alone?
Well, we weren't doing much in Afghanistan. You know, like the Taliban. Did you ever watch Charlie Wilson's War?
No.
How we covertly helped Afghans beat Russia.
Oh yeah, I knew
in
that.
the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then it was that generation that grew up not knowing that it was America that helped.
Oh.
And that was his point. His whole point was we went over there, we helped them beat them, and then we didn't help them recover. We didn't tell them it was us even, you know. So
that was silly.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess my point is when sometimes the base will post stuff on Facebook like, hey, we're going to be taking off at 7, and they did, like, legitimately at 7 the other day. But a lot of the comments will be like, I love hearing the sounds of freedom. And to me, a machine of death doesn't necessarily, that's not really the sounds of freedom, is it?
No.
But there's a lot of people who say that kind of stuff. And no problem if you think that. That's whatever. But
I've never felt safer because the base was here.
No.
If anything, I felt less safe.
Yeah, I know, right? There's freaking nuclear arms like
a mile away or less than a mile.
We're a target. Yeah. You know, now we're pretty far in. It would be pretty weird.
That'd be a hell of a stretch.
Yeah.
they'd have to.
However, Russia has that new missile that's launched from land.
Yeah, whatever, dude. We have freaking alien spacecraft. Donald Trump said we've got things like we've never had. All right, he knows.
I heard he threatened Iran the other day, huh?
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
If Iran, he was on Rush. That's it, because he dropped the F-bomb on Rush.
Oh, really?
He's like, if Iran doesn't stop fucking around with us or something like that, we can do.
And
things.
Rush was like, "Whoa, done."
Waiting to see if the FCC jumps on the president for dropping the F-bomb.
Should
on a syndicated radio show.
Well, you know, he's the chosen one.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, I guess that's all for the episode today.
That's all. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Yeah.
Find us at the Arctic Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember TikTok. Go to thearcticpodcast.com. Watch us. Communicate. Do whatever.
I guess I'll have to figure TikTok out. I thought it was like a children's thing or something now.
No, if anything, it's too adult.
There are lots of attractive people on there.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like the gateway to OnlyFans.
Do you think there's a lot of girls on there that are into overweight, middle-aged? Am I middle-aged?
I bet you could put a TikTok out there
and be like, hey, if you're looking for a fat guy who lives in his sister's basement and is unemployed, woo, check it out.
Duet me, and then, they would get you.
Duet?
That's what it's called.
Oh.
You'll figure it out.
Huh.
Anyway, for episode 97, I'm Bryan.
I'm Spencer. See you next time.